Okay, so this is going to be item number 22, the probability of compound events. So we're going to write probabilities of compound events. Now, compound events, just like compound words, are going to be multiple types of events, right? So let's look at an example. Here is an example of a race. So Brian and Amy and Carl are about to get glued onto the paper. And after that, they are about to complete a 100 mixed IM swim event. Okay? These are the only 3 swimmers competing in the event. They are all working hard to win first. How many different possible ways could 3 swimmers place? All right, so we're going to make a nice organized chart that will identify that there are 6 ways for students to win the race. So let's do this. So we have Amanda, sorry, that was Amanda, and we're going to let Amanda equal A. And we're going to have Brian, and he's going to equal B, and we're going to let Carl equal C. Okay, and so we could, let's just start listing them out. So we could have just that, Amanda in first, Brian in second, Carl in third. We could have Amanda in first and Carl in second and Brian in third, right? If we just switch those. Okay, so that's all those that we could have if we had Amanda in first. If we had Brian in first, we could have Amanda in second and Carl in third. If we have Brian first, we could have Carl in second and Amanda in third. If we have Carl in first, we can have Amanda in second and Brian in third. If we have Carl in first, we could also have Brian in second and Amanda in third. Okay, and that takes into consideration all the different types, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6 different ways for the swimmers to place. Okay, and that's just one way, which is an organized list. That's one way that we could work on that, right? Okay, so let's try another one. Again, here's some racers for you. Okay, their names are Brian and Kevin. That Brian, he must be doing multiple events, right? Okay, so here are some racers. It's a word problem again. Brian and Kevin were training for a big race. They trained a week before the race by racing one another. How many different ways could the 2 friends place when racing each other? So this is a bit tricky because there are 2 participants, which minimizes the possible outcomes. All the outcomes are exponentially beyond 2 participants. So we need to make a list that identifies the 2 ways that the friends could win. So we could have Brian and then Kevin, or Kevin and then Brian. So that's it, right? So how many different ways? There are 2 ways to finish, right? There's only going to be 2 ways for them to finish the race. Because there's only 2 friends, right? It's only one or the other in first. So let's turn it over to the other one. And for this third one, we are going to talk, oops, how about a second one? Got stick in there. Here's the second one. Ooh, this is a 2-sided coin is tossed about to be tossed 3 times. What is the probability that the coin will land heads twice and then tails? So first we need to find all the different ways that they're going to go. So H is going to equal heads, right? And T is going to equal tails. So let's list out all those ways. First we can have tails, tails, tails. That'd be awesome, right? Then tails, tails, heads. And then tails, heads, tails. Right? Okay. Or they could land tails, heads, 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 tails, tails, or heads, tails, heads. Or heads, heads, tails, or heads, heads, heads. So those are all the different ways that they could land, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different ways that they could land in that order. And it lands on heads twice and tails once. So let's see, 3 tails, 2 tails, 1 or 2 tails, 1 tails, 2 heads. 1 tail, 2 heads is here, and 1 heads, 2 tails is there. So out of those possible, there's 3 of them. Okay, and out of those 3, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different ways to find them. So that is a probability of 3 out of 8. And we can write that as a decimal of 0.375. Or we can say 37.5% chance that we are going to land on a 2 heads and 1 tail version. Okay? The third one I want you to look at, okay, is going to look like this. It's going to be number 3. How many different ways can we arrange the letters in the word to? So we could have TWO, and then we could have TOW. Then we could have WTO and WOT, and then we could have OTW and OWT. So there are 6 different ways by using an organized list. So there are 6 different ways. So you can see that these are different ways that we're going to approach this stuff. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go ahead and you're going to work on your homework and then take the quiz. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to ask me. Okay, when you are done, you are going to do 6.6 or 5 or whatever's next. Thank you.